Hello everybody, it's Free to Play Bust. We're about to jump into some Constructed today. I've been kind of messing around with Jinx, and this is kind of where I've ended up with Jinx. In the testing I previously did in the Treat deck, we came across Professor Yip being pretty good. So kind of the idea with this deck is we're going to be just basically dropping our hand as quickly as we can, and then on around turn 4 and turn 5, we're really going to be dropping Jinxes and Professor Yips. It's really kind of based on the expensive cards here, whether or not you're trying to take over the game, Jinx, Yip, or Augmented Experimenter. Outside of that, Elise is just a big value unit. If you look at Elise, she's pretty much overstated in every way. We'd pay 2 mana for a 2/3 Fearsome. A 2/3 Fearsome that makes a unit is even better at 2 mana. And there's a chance that she can flip in here. This is not really a dedicated Spiders deck. We're just playing Elise because her value is so high. And then kind of outside of that, Mark of the Owls is really picking up in popularity. Just a very good combat trick. We're usually casting it on units we don't care about anyways. Like, if you Mark of the Owls a Warden's Prey, you don't particularly care. You're getting a trade that you want, you're getting some value back out of the Warden, and you're getting that 3 damage for 1 mana is kind of the way we're looking at Mark of the Owls. It's not some kind of like combat trick we're really looking to pull off. I'm just really looking at Mark of the Owls as a lightning bolt that takes some work, and the work isn't very hard. Then beyond that, we're just playing the Mystic Shots to get excited and Vile Feast. Just all around great way to deal with minions, and the Mystic Shot and Get Excited are also pretty good closers. And then, kind of the last thing with how this deck came about is there's basically the most popular decks in the format now are just about going wide. You have the various iterations of like the Spiders decks, whether it's Noxus or with Demacia. They're trying to go wide and then boost everything with the like the +1 or +2 attack spiders or the Demacia version, the Dawn Speakers, that if a unit dies, it gives everything +1/+1. Really kind of the same idea. We're here to go wide with Professor Yip if the rest of our game plan isn't really panning out. But yeah, that's the deck. I wish I figured out a better way to show it to you, but that's what we're using now. Oh, I did mean to mention, I'm currently playing 2 Augmented Experimenters, 2 Boom Crew Rookies. I definitely want 3 Experimenters, and then I want to remove the Boom Crew Rookie. I'm not sure what the viable replacement for him would be, but I'm not really happy with it. But yeah, there's the deck. Let's get into some games here. Currently pretty close to rolling into Diamond 3. I've been kind of dirtling around in Diamond 4 for a bit now, and this seems like kind of the deck that should be able to push us over closer to Masters. It is kind of unfortunate. I have, free to play, and I've gotten fairly lucky with the champions that I've opened. I do manage to have 3 Elises and 3 Zeds. But here, I almost always want to keep either a Jinx or a Yip. If you see them in the opener, you want to keep 1. I don't think you want to keep 2. And the Aristocrat is kind of the bottom end of the 1-drops. I'm just going to go ahead and mulligan everything else away. Look for better 1-drops and better interaction. It didn't really come about. We drew a lot of top end, but that's okay. This does play quite a bit of 1 and 2 drops, but it's not necessarily like an aggro deck. We aren't really playing all these 1s and 2s and then trying to go face. We're really just playing them because it's so much of our value comes from not having cards in our hand. Sure. That's strange to me. Really want to get that damage in? Sure. And we'll get our unit online. We're likely not going to play any cards on our next turn. And to just keep the spell mana bank for Get Excited.
Let's test my theorem.
Because, right, this isn't a super great Elise here. We really don't want to play it because there's so many bad blocks you can force out here. But this is likely a game where we're just going to be shooting for Professor Yip. Although we don't have any, one drops to go with it. That's kind of one of the big values with Elise is she makes one drops on her own. It's a bit awkward not having this. Like, if we picked up a one drop here, we'd most certainly drop Professor Yip and then Elise in the one drop next turn. But I think we're just going to be looking to play Jinx here. We'll get rid of this Sump Dretcher. We already have the ways to discard our hand with the Experimenter, so we don't really need... He's not a great value unit at this stage of the game. What you'll find with this deck, we are just going to play Jinx and attack, but you'll find that a lot of times we already killed a unit, so we can block here. If Jinx gets Black Spirit, it's okay. You'll find a lot of times you want to play Jinx and just not attack. You just want to really pick up her extra card every turn and have access to the Death Rockets. Getting her in combat goes wrong a lot. Let's see, I mean, we could play the Professor. He's not going to get Black Spirit here. I think I am kind of interested in him more. You can at least get Elise online and start doing a little bit. Maybe bank up some spell mana depending on what we draw. He's not particularly what we wanted to draw. There's a lot of cards that make this attack go poorly. But I mean, if he just plays like a 3-2, I'm okay with making a trade. We aren't like a dedicated Elise deck. Look, that's... okay. Like, this is just a deck that has Elise in it because, she's an extremely high value unit. We care about Jinx in a much different way. This deck is built around doing stuff with Jinx, not really built around doing stuff with Elise.
Come, stay a while. So young.
That's fine. We're okay. We're mostly just interested in getting Jinx online, and then we'll experiment her down whatever we can next turn. So we can really just aggressively use this Mark of the Owls because it's not going to be around. Use it just to kill his Elise, give him a chance. And I think really one of the big reasons Mark of the Owls has become more popular is outside of just its efficiency is its having burst and its ability to allow you to block fearsome units. But I'm going to keep passing. I have to imagine he attacks here. Or at least plays something else. He's definitely attacking after playing Senna. This feels like it came down a little bit early.
You won't suffer long.
He might have a card here. I'm not super worried about his Elise. I'm going to try to kill everything but take down his Senna in the process. Dawn Speakers is going to be a bit of a problem. We don't have a real good answer to it. We can only do 3 damage to it.
Be strong! These are dark times.
Okay, so we can't play both. Let's go ahead and try to kill his Elise. This will flip our Jinx.
I'm on the verge.
And we'll probably end up attacking with it. We'll have to see how this pans out.
I wonder.
Fishbones! We're doing it!
I don't quite remember the combat tricks that the Demacia deck plays. I think it's typically just back-to-back. Which would be pretty good against our Jinx. Seems like one of those situations we're just going to let her sit back.
My experiments.
Hush now.
And we will want to kill, if he has 1/1s left over, we will want to kill them just to keep him from getting this bonus. We're really looking to just empty out our hand.
You have to get me out of here.
Okay.
Let the light guide you.
Lux, interesting. I was not expecting to see Lux.
We must all make sacrifices.
I wonder what they're playing to boost her. If it's just the guy that makes 4 Demacia, or if they actually play like Judgment. And here I'm willing to contest his whole board. I kind of just really want to do this. Get the Mark of the Isles down. Because our plan here is we're going to play everything. It's going to cost 3. We'll play this for free for 5. And then the Death Rocket will be 7. We're going to try to get excited as Dawn Speakers. And then kill it off with the Death Rocket. Seems like we might be successful here. And you can really see the power that Professor Yip has here. Like if we were playing the Scuttlers 3/3s, all the Elise minions were coming out as 3/3s. He provides so much value. Oh, nice, we're in a great spot now. So, if we draw 2 units, it's awkward, because we don't have room on our bench to play both, so we'll have to attack. But if we draw a unit and a spell, or 2 spells, then we can Death Rocket his board first. Now we drew 2 units. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in combat. We're going to attack with everything. If he drew a back-to-back, then you know, he drew it. There's not a lot we can do about that. We can just leave. What happens if we just leave Jinx back? He blocks Elise with Lux, he blocks this with here. It's going to take 2, 3. We can just leave Jinx back.
You won't suffer long.
He has to block our stuff so we can count on 2 units to die.
This is my choice.
Time to go.
These 2 will take him to 3, then we should be able to Death Rocket him down.
Backfired.
Yep, good deal.
What does he want from me?
But see, this is kind of why we just do a lot of not attacking with Jinx. You're getting so much value out of the 2 cards you're playing every turn, and then the Death Rocket. We didn't run into it this game. I'm planning on playing 5 games, and at some point I'm going to get screwed because I'm just sitting with one of these required discards in my hand. Like at It happens frequently, and it's a real feel-bad moment. But otherwise, a lot of times it is proper to just flip your Jinx and just sit there. Getting a combat can be a little bit scary. Okay, so we're going to get rid of some of this. I think I'll likely just get rid of everything. That's what I've been kind of experimenting with this deck, is just getting rid of everything and trying to make sure that you have either a Jinx or a Yipp. Because they're just so powerful that we usually don't get ran over in the early game. I found a lot of, we'll play a 1-drop, a 2-drop, soak all our mana on 3, and then
I brought my books. Hope that's all right.
play either Yipp or Jinx on 4. A lot of times you kind of want to wait until 5 or 6 to play Yipp so you can get the extra value out of your units. But when you have stuff like Jerry Rig, it really helps. Because now on 4 we can play Yipp, get excited, and then also just discard Jerry Rig to make it 3/3. So the question now comes down to is if we want to Vile Feast this, or if we want to play Sump Dredger. I'm just going to attack, see what he does. If he blocks, then I'll play the Dredger. If he doesn't, then I'll Vile Feast down his unit. But I didn't want to play Dredger and then him play like a unit that can stop it. Might just want to play it now anyways, to threaten his Elise. I mean, I'd say the likely outcome here is he attacks with both hooks and the Dredger, and then I block the 1/1 spider. But we at least want to kind of slow down their board a bit until we can get this stuff online. And here, I did notice, it might have just been a single game bug, but I did notice that I had 2 Yipps on board, played Jerry Rig, and it came out as a 3/3, but the tooltip said it was a 4/4.
Now I've lost my
I did, send it in as a bug report, but it's a thing that might happen to us here. Definitely want to just bank this spell mana. We're likely just going to get excited on his turn with 2 Yipps on board, kind of as our plan.
By the strength of our convictions.
That's annoying, but I think we can still play around that. We can't get excited with Elise anymore, but we are going to get a free attack with our Dredger, and then we're just going to start making 5/5s.
Come, stay a
Okay,
while.
we'll take any card he has here. I can't imagine he's going to let Elise die unless he just has the second one in his hand.
Remember the fallen!
Okay.
Like this? Oh, I see.
That's fine. I'm okay with going full greed mode here and just making a 5/5.
Be strong. These are dark times.
His attack doesn't look super impressive. I think there is a pretty good chance that he plays something before he attacks. But if he doesn't, then we'll be okay with just getting a 3/3 out of the Jerry Rig.
We will not hesitate!
He didn't hook? Okay.
You're disrupting my research. My writing.
Quite right, quite right.
I fight for the
Sure.
fallen. Our allies did not fall in vain.
Okay.
Perhaps we should pause
I
the
guess
thought.
we'll just start making 7/7s. It was not the plan, but that's what we're going to be doing.
Lady Elise, where are you?
LOL. Have fun with this.
I must get out of here.
And so, should be in a pretty reasonable spot. If he hasn't interacted with our Yipps now, I think he's going to have a hard time doing it. And this is kind of where just every draw in our deck is pretty good. Sure. Thing is, this Radiant Guardian might become a little bit tougher to deal with. But we're starting to get into that classic spot of mine to where as long as we don't die, we should be winning this game. I'm going to go ahead and take this giant unit off the board. We maybe wanted to save that Get Excited for his Guardian, since it has tough a 7/7. When it becomes a 7/7 this turn, our 7/7s won't kill it. But I think we have time to just dirtle around with these.
Times.
Banish the unworthy! Our ancestors are watching!
Sure. Can kill 2 Yips, which is kind of annoying, but it's not the end of the world. That Vow Feast was kind of a waste here, which is unfortunate, but at least his units won't be getting boosted this turn, and now we can also, if he blocks with this Guardian, these 7/7s will take it down. I'm going to hold on to Boom Crew Rookie in case we draw something where we have to discard a card.
Hold back the darkness! I am not afraid! You would test my steel?
I will end this here!
Still not sure if this block matters. I don't know if you just lose the game when you hit 0. If you go back up, then you stay alive. I'm pretty sure you stay alive, but that's fine.
Injustice! Remember the fallen!
Our allies did not fall in vain.
Yeah, losing that 1 Yip really hurt. We wasted that, spent that Vow Feast a little early.
For our allies!
He's already played 2 back-to-backs, so I think this is probably a pretty safe block. And then we're still kind of in the spot to where we're playing units that are almost bigger than his. When this attacks, it'll have 4 attacks, so it can really threaten this. And I don't want to block with Yip. The 2 damage isn't scary enough yet. But
Hope burns on.
Don't worry, I've read all about this.
I'm gonna Mystic Shot this down because I don't want it to be a 3/3. Oh shit, that's bad. That's probably gonna take the game from us here. So yeah, I think that playing that Vow Feast on here probably lost us the game when he was able to attack with the 1 attack challenger. Or 1 health challenger here and take down a Yip.
Be strong! These are dark times.
Jinx? Stands for Jinx? Durr.
No, that'll do it. We can't come back from the full combo there. Playing Fiora. See his deck, please. No champions. Interesting. I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm going to mulligan out my full hand and look for Yipp and Jinx. I think I've seen this before.
Don't worry, I've read all about this. Putting study into practice.
Not sure what they're trying to do. I was going to say, it usually feels like, usually when they're in Ionia Demacia, they're just playing Elusives. It seems like a fairly weak Elusives draw, and they don't open with a 1-drop.
By the strength of our convictions.
I'm still just I'm gonna open attack here and see if he'll block. That seems like it should be a pretty scary block for him.
Just as I hypothesized.
You usually don't want to be blocking with Dawn Speakers.
Keep hope alive.
Okay, that's fine. I'm more than glad to trade this for a riposte.
Be strong. These are dark
Like he's just
times.
playing Fiora deck but doesn't have any Fioras. And we could be a little bit more aggressive with this Jinx because we have a second one in our hand. We really need to start dumping some of these cards out to get her to flip. But we are pretty close, and we can play 2 Get Exciteds just to, essentially on whatever he plays, we're willing to get excited. And then play the Experimenter on our turn.
Everyone goes boom!
Time for a leap of
Sure.
faith.
You should just be so far behind this game. I don't want to play the Jinx one. If something goes wrong with Jinx next turn, we definitely want to be able to play the second one.
Worth it.
Smile! It's called gunplay.
Sure, that's fine. Really kind of soak the aggression out of them. That's kind of the big thing you run into with the elusive decks is you can't block their units, and their aggression just you know, kind of gets you. But if you're taking them out of being able to race, it should be pretty bad for them. It's fine. Let's pass and see what he does. Really mostly interested in killing this Dawn Speakers. But if we can kill the rest of his units and his only board is Dawn Speakers, then we're usually pretty okay with that. That's okay. We didn't really get to spend anything, but his turn was not super scary. So we can Experimenter, get excited, and Vile Feast something down. Seems pretty reasonable. Sure. Now the question here is how he handles this turn. Let's go ahead and attack and see how this goes. If he invests heavily in the Jinx, we still do have the last one we can play behind.
Our word is our bond.
Here, it depends on his combat trick how bad this is. If he plays back-to-back or if he plays riposte. Yeah, we can deal with riposte. And if we got the 1 damage on this Dawn Speakers and are able to take down his other one with Jinx, pretty huge.
Fall in vain. Do not forget.
Looking good so far.
Looking for a daring escape? The answer is here somewhere. Immerse yourself in the unknown.
I'll give you to the count of 3 steps.
Okay. We've pretty handily dealt with most of his aggression. He still can get kind of a scary tracker, but he has to have a unit plus something like back-to-back, which is not nearly as scary. There's the Professor. This game should just be pretty close to over. We can't actually get a Death Rocket on board this turn because we have too many units. But I mean, we have a pretty overwhelming advantage here. We're going to have a lot of big attacks next turn.
I don't
Bite.
We should be far enough ahead with Jinx that we don't super care if she dies. So we'll attack with everything but Yipp. We want the space on board to make a unit that'll come out as a 3/3 here.
out from the darkness.
Don't want any trouble.
And if he has some kind of back-to-back play, I'm okay with spending all my Mark of the Isles just to bring his units down. We can switch to the Yipp plan from this point forward. That's still not good enough. Second one, okay. So let's do the 8 damage here. We're never going to be big enough to kill this thing, which is okay. And now it's kind of, if I want to, could have just killed him. Hang on. 1, 2, 5, 8, until 1. Yeah, we could have lethaled him with these Mark of the Isles. I'm pretty bad about noticing that. I'm going to go ahead and spend the other one so we can just make more 3/3s. I guess it is kind of a dangerous mark though. Well, he couldn't pull up Ionia. We probably should have just gone for it there, because we were just going to play units behind anyways. And I just want to go ahead and get all these down as 3/3s.
Where are you?
But yeah, we should have just gone for the win that turn. Him having a single conspirator at 17 is not very scary.
Strength in grace, beauty in the blade.
Okay. Cool. Diamond 3. That looks like a dedicated Fiora deck. Let's get rid of everything and look for Jinx and Yipp. There's him. I like to lead with the academics. It's not, you know, a super strong attack here on this turn, but it does battle with essentially every 1-drop and survive. And typically the only 1-drop it doesn't battle with is Fleet Feather Challenger, and you're okay with just trading for it. Okay. Interesting choice here, because I don't really want to be playing a bunch of these 1/1s into a Fiora deck. I think I just want to wait for Yipp to come online and try to give them the bonuses. The kind of annoying side of that is that he can just challenger down Yipp. I think I want to get the units online. We'll be banking a little bit of spell mana, and then we'll also be able to play Jerry Rig on the same turn as Yipp with the spell mana. Kind of the thing we have that a lot of decks don't is most decks can just combat Fiora with other combat tricks, and we actually have the direct damage spells and mystic shots, and
These woods protect their own.
we have 3. We just have to pass here. Well, let's actually go ahead and spend the mana on this. I don't want to lose that 1 mana. Do we want to just go ahead and Mystic Shot this? Probably not.
The fate of mortals and spirits falls to me.
Shit. Okay, so I think we could safely play Yipp. I'm not super worried about this stuff. I think he's going to attack and I'm going to make it 3/3 and definitely block his Shen. We could try to Mystic Shot it on our turn if that seems viable. These guys are all pretty reasonable blocks.
I want to go home.
No, let's actually just put these here.
Nature blesses her followers.
Okay, now I don't want to just directly start playing stuff on Shen. I think I want to get these units in. We don't have any 1-drops behind, so not super exciting to try to drop stuff for Yipp. But all of these blocks are pretty bad for him. I want him to have to spend some of his spell mana before these go down, because now we can just start killing things.
My right.
Nature blesses.
Having this giant dude behind is a little bit scary. Makes me kind of not want to just kill Shen, but I think he's going to be a required kill here. I think we'll Mystic Shot. I'll play the Dredger so we have another blocker. We can take a hit from 1.
The Kinku.
So maybe we do just go ahead and play the spell here. I think so. I want to get rid of the Dredger, I'll never play him. So this should at least keep him from having lethal. We're kind of hoping that he plays a card and we can experimenter down this. There's a good chance it just gets barriered, but we feel at least a lot safer now. Jury Rig was a big pickup. If he doesn't open attack, this would be great for us.
The answer is here somewhere.
So we're gonna lose Yipp, but we've got a pretty reasonable board, and you know, just drew 3 cards.
You'll thank me later.
And he doesn't challenge my Yipp. Oh, okay, there he goes. I was like, what? Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay, let's just open attack with these. I do want to get Jinx online, but this would be a Jinx that we just play and draw cards with. We're never attacking into this board. They just have way too many scary cards.
So many questions. Break their spirits and their swords.
Okay, so that makes a lot of our plays bad. We'll just soak up this mana and try to play stuff after he attacks.
My journey continues.
That's fine. We could soak an open attack here. Might as well. We'll keep passing. If he wants to not attack, just so that he can you know, keep us from using mana, that would be perfectly fine for us.
A disgrace.
And I
Quite
think
right, quite right.
we can probably pretty safely play Jinx. That's annoying. At least we're good to make a unit.
My tenure.
We'll play Jinx. Well, we'll have the mana. We're never going to attack. We probably will attack with her. We might as well. Well, we would get to draw a card. So yeah, let's bank up all the spell mana. But I don't think we really have enough. We could Jinx. I was gonna say we don't really have enough mana, like enough cards where we can't just spend all our mana next turn. Sure. Yeah, we are pretty likely to just lose our Jinx. It's too bad.
Fishbones! We're doing it!
I brought my books. Hope that's all right.
We need to... Oh, cool.
Now it's a party!
Okay. So we'll just replay Jinx behind.
They got me! Just you and me, Fishbones.
Our ancestors are
Draw Redeemer off of that thing. Kind of annoying. And then we can get really aggressive with this Jinx since we have the second one. These aren't great attacks. I don't want him to just play a good unit behind here, so let's get open attack.
You would test my steel?
Okay. I don't think we want to Super Mega Death Rocket. I'm really worried about him playing another Challenger and killing our Jinx. I think we're really just trying to ride hard on this drawing 2 cards a turn. I'll go ahead and play the Aristocrat. I think the chances of me playing Get Excited are extremely low.
My training is unconventional.
Lady
I
Elise.
think I'm okay with this. I probably should have just passed here to see what he does and just keep drawing 2 cards. He's been boosting something in his hand and not playing it, I think. But I'm really just expecting for him to be able to just keep trying to all in on my Jinx.
D for 2.
Okay.
It wasn't me.
So he's looking to combat trick here.
You have to get me out of here.
I'm okay with taking combat tricks.
Stay a while.
I'm just playing the 3rd Jinx. Yep, that's fine.
My sweet one.
Can't say it wasn't worth it.
Jinx stands for Jinx. Durr.
Okay. And then these are awkward. So we have to play the Warden's Prey. Because my complaint point with these cards is you can't, if a discard is your last card, you can't play it. I don't think I want to attack with Elise. I'm okay with getting in with these 2. I'm just never attacking the Jinx here. I think we can just safely, if we're going to attack with everything, I want to play the Warden's Prey.
Run along quickly.
Oh god. Not a whole lot we can do about that. So let's just start going face. So it's Death Rocket, that'll kill his barriers. We can attack with Boom Crew Rookie and the Warden's Prey. There is one card we can pick up on Warden's Prey that we can't play, but I think that's okay. And then we're just going to be looking to... going to deny that? Okay. I think we still want to attack with Boom Crew Rookie, because him being at 8 is very important, because that'll kill him with 2 Death Rockets.
Just gonna put this here.
Stand strong!
As long as he's out of ways to interact with our Jinx, I think we should be okay this game.
Backfired.
Okay.
Honor guide.
That's fine, we'll just be taking 3 here. I don't know if that,
What's your hurry?
Just leave me alone.
We can hold on to that. We can do this. I don't know if that swap card will let this go unattacked. You know what I mean? If he plays the swap thing and his non is over here unblocked.
That boy.
Careful. You don't know what's out there.
But I think regardless of what we draw, we should be able to Death Rocket him here. And then Death Rocket him out on our turn. If he has another Deny, I think we're still okay. We have enough stuff on board to take another hit. Another Deny, okay. That was the second one. Oh, we can't play this Elise card. We have to have something die. So, how much do we send in here? I think because he pretty reasonably has to block as long as we're representing 3 damage. He'll have to block at least one thing. I think we can attack with all of these.
Gotta get out of here!
And then when Elise dies, we can just play new Elise. I have to realistically assume he's going to block everything here.
Not afraid.
How did that move go?
So young.
Ooh, interesting.
I pull the strings.
What's that noise?
Weak-willed fool.
He's just auto-passing everything. I mean, I don't know if there's a button you can hold or if he just has 2 combat tricks in his hand. Because if he had a unit, he would be stalling his turn. I know you should turn that thing on to where it automatically does stuff for you, but I don't care enough. And so I think he has 2 combat tricks in his hand. We should just be able to kill him with Get Excited now, regardless of what he does. Okay, good deal. See, that's a lot of the power in Jinx. Oftentimes you just won't be attacking with her. As you can see there, those are all scary attacks. Like if he just puts a barrier on something, like he has a riposte, then Jinx is going to get blown up. But if you just leave her sitting there, and you're getting 2 cards plus a Death Rocket every turn, it's pretty powerful. Okay, let's get in a last game here. I've been having a bit of trouble with this deck. It tends to not be so much the deck itself as not being able to deal with Darius. Here's same deal. We don't have a Jinx or a Yipp, so we're going to mulligan everything. But yeah, you have to really try to pay attention to stay over 11. I mean, it's easier said than done, but
Where are you?
if they're able to flip a Darius, you really just don't have any good ways to deal with it. I mean, you can try to, like, you know, Get Excited plus Mystic Shot it or something, but it's your outs to flip Darius are pretty big reaches. Okay, that'll give us a chance to play Swamp Dredger. It'll turn this attack off. I'm pretty sure I'm okay with just trading with his 3-2. That should let our Elise get online on this. But I mean, there's a pretty big chance he just plays the 3-3 behind. So probably want to just open attack with the Aristocrat. Could be pretty reasonable to just bank this spell mana, but we don't have anything to do with it. I'm okay with playing Elise and kind of shutting this attack here down. Okay, that's fine.
Rules are made to be
At least with
broken.
Jinx, our attacks against this deck tend to be pretty safe. They tend to just play like Brother's Bond and Might. They usually don't play the +3/+3 ephemeral card, but it is getting a lot more popular. So this isn't, you know, a free attack. We're gonna make it anyways, but this attack is not free into this deck.
Screaming helps not at all.
Let's see if we just get punished here. Mark is getting a lot more popular. I mean, it's so good in spots like this. Like, you just got all these dirtly 1/1 spiders that you don't really care to lose. It looks like it's safe. We'll be willing to experiment or anything he plays next turn. Sure. Nothing we can do about that.
Got me. Yeah.
The people are my
It's gonna start being a problem. The thing that sucks here is we're gonna lose this Mark of the Isles. It's our really only good way to interact with this, but I don't think we have choice. We can just shoot this one and see if we pick up a way to deal with it.
Immerse yourself in the unknown.
Nope, it's not a great pickup. I think it's okay.
If I fall, so be it.
Oh, that's great if he doesn't attack. Nice.
Stay away from that switch.
We'll probably lose our experimenter to something here. But yeah, that's fine. There's no reason to play this. We're not going to open attack with it. Kind of sucks.
I pull the strings.
Losing our Jinx was pretty big.
Run along quickly. You won't suffer long.
Again, we don't care to trade this. We're never going to get some kind of spider theme online, but it does, you know, feel like a scary unit that you have to deal with. And so, I mean, if he wants to make a trade with the crowd favorite into Elise, we're pretty happy about that.
One of us dies.
Cool. I don't think think that turn could have gone any better. Okay. Rasa is a bit of a problem. I don't think we're going to be able to beat this, but we really needed to, when the Jinx gets taken care of and you don't really have anything else to do, kind of what you're limited to. I think we can go ahead and get a block in on this House Spider. We're not going to be able to play Sump Dredger, but we can try to play it next turn to have something in front of Rasa. But I want to kill this off, and the important thing here being is getting up to 8 life so we can take 2 hits from Rasa should it come down to it. These aren't things you're excited about, but it's what we're going to have to kind of play to. And I won't play it in case we draw Yipp. I guess we can also Vile Feast our Cursed Keeper. It's not what we wanted to draw. I'll see what we draw, but
Mine is the hand of Noxus. Death by my hand.